By the way, you guys ever do something where you get hurt working on something and you look down and you go, that was dumb? That was one of those moments. How's everybody doing? We're expecting some snow. Not gonna lie to you, it's been a few days since I've really been out here in the barn because it's been chilly. It's I got the barn heater. I reviewed the barn heater. Don't get me wrong, but that was coming up from like 20 or 30 degrees. It's been wind chills in the negative, and now they're predicting for this weekend that apparently we're supposed to get anywhere from 4,000 to 4,000 feet of snow. But no. What they're really predicting, at least on the weather channels, if you don't go on social media, is that we're supposed to get anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow over this weekend. It's not a lot, don't get me wrong. I used to be stationed at Hill Air Force Base up in Utah, which is just north of Salt Lake City. And it was normal to get about 2 feet of snow in one night. But depending on where you live, and if you've ever lived anywhere where there was a bunch of snow and then you move somewhere where there wasn't a lot of snow, you'll know that everybody on the road seems like they forget to know how to drive whenever it snows, especially the more south you get. And it makes sense. I don't have a lot of experience with it and whatnot, but we're going to do our part. So this is just going to be simply what I have to do when there is snow, how I attack things, how I do things around this farm. Our driveway is 330 feet long from the house to the road, and then it's probably another 300 feet to the barn where we're at currently. So I don't know about you, but I'm too fat to shovel that. I'm way too fat to shovel that, and it's a gravel driveway. Also, I have a tractor. I have multiple tractors. This blade that a family friend gave us actually came with the Ferguson that we revived on this channel and got up and running again. And I'm going to use it. I've used it already before in the past, but right now in the configuration that it's in, it's meant that you go backwards because the bottom of this blade, they call it a cutting edge, but the bottom blade back here is hardened steel and it's facing the wrong direction. Bad part is, right now I can't spin it because it will hit the 3-point arms. So the reason why I have it lowered down right now is I'm going to go ahead and shorten the living crap out of this third link up here and try to get it tilted up enough that I can spin this blade around to the right configuration and then get us all set up for the snow. Also, comment down below. I don't know if everybody has this or not, but it seems to always happen to me. If you prepare ahead of time for a bad situation like this, where snow's coming or I don't know, you're expecting the worst visit in forever from a family friend that you have never talked to, and you mentally prepare for it the entire day. Once the day comes, it either doesn't snow, that friend cancels, or it just wasn't that bad. I have learned, at least in my relatively short life, that if I prepare for the bad things, it really won't be that bad going up to it. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, don't get me wrong. But if you sit there and at least acknowledge that it's coming, maybe do a little bit of preparedness, it won't be as bad. So, anywho, you guys know the plan with this thing. Tilt it, spin it, set it back down, get it all set back up. I'll throw you guys on a time lapse and then talk about what this video is going to be. Because, yeah, This is my life. This is my project. These are things I got to do. I love winter because you don't have to mow. I hate winter because you have to move snow.
They say we're getting 48, might be more by morning. Weatherman's on every screen, whole town already warning. Indiana flat as can be.
Well, that ended up being more complicated than I thought it would be. At first, it was contacting my 3-point hitch right there. But then, come to find out, it was hitting the grater blade itself, the framework of it. So, as you saw, I tried to remove my own leg by dropping the blade off of this and it hitting me in my left shin. By the way, you guys ever do something where you get hurt working on something and you look down and you go, that was dumb? That was one of those moments. But took all 4 bolts off the blade, had to use a sledgehammer to spin this thing around, but got it spun around. And now also on top of here, there's this pin that goes inside of here that stops it from moving around or rotating on you. When it was in the other configuration, there was only 3 settings of different angles to set it at. Now I have a total of 5 settings, which will be nicer. So I wish I had a hydraulic one that I could switch the way that it was tilting. It just makes it easier while you're pulling snow or grading something. That way you didn't have to get off the tractor and switch it back and forth. But you know what? It's better than nothing. And it's better than shoveling snow. So the next part of this video, we'll be getting ready to come out there and actually plow some snow. I'll go over with you guys what I wear when it's wind chills that are that chilly, and how I gear up for it. And then you'll see how I attack getting the snow out of our driveway. By the way, the reason why I do this so quickly when it does snow, or I have a random car parked randomly in the middle of the driveway, we have a, how would I describe him? A farm help friend that lives at my parents' house. He likes to go on beer runs, and every once in a while he does that in a snowplow truck. And with our chickens and our goats and everything, we have extension cords either coming out of the house or this barn going across our driveway. So there's certain areas that we can't plow. He never remembers that. So what I do is I just park the cars over the extension cords. That way he can't plow through them. So far it's worked. So far. We'll see. By the way, Roger says good morning. This is going to be weird. I've never got dressed or undressed off of camera, but I wanted to talk about what I personally use to stay warm in situations like this. So there's a couple ways of thinking about being cold. If you look at like snowboarding or skiing gear, you'll notice that they're very lightweight but plasticky. They're like windbreakers. That's because of the wind chill. Wind chill is horrible. Take it from a guy that used to be stationed in Utah and work outside of it in jets. But you got to keep in mind what I'm doing during this. I'm just sitting down and moving out there in the wind. Right now it's 13 degrees outside, and the wind chill is about 1 to -1. So for some individuals, I get it. That's not bad. For Indiana, that's pretty bad. So I got normal base layer on, just long sleeve shirt, jeans, long socks, like a dress sock but thicker, and underwear. First thing I'm going to be putting on even though it makes me feel like a Farmer Joe from heck, is some good overalls. These are some Bernie insulated overalls. They work very well. My legs are the reason I got discharged from the military anyways. I don't have too much feeling in them. What I'll notice while I'm doing this more than anything is that my my knees will get cold because they're sticking out and they're piercing the wind just by sitting down. Now, if you're inside of a truck or anything, that's fine. You'll be fine with this. But since this is an open cab trailer or tractor, they're going to be sticking out first and they're going to be getting hit with the wind first, so they'll get colder quicker. But from there, to insulate my top end, you guys seen me wear this hoodie quite a bit. It's just a Carhartt hoodie. My wife and my sister-in-law customized it for me by putting on my logo and everything. But it's a good, thick Carhartt hoodie. It's like an insulation layer inside of a house. It's going to hold that heat up against my body. So, take off my microphone, put this thing on real quick. So with that, you guys are going to hear dogs' paws and everything else. They're waking up. With that, the only other layer I'm going to put on top of this, I still happen to use mine from the military, but a windbreaker jacket. So this is going to stop the wind from piercing, going through this insulation, getting to my body. It helps massively just store in the heat. If you can stop the wind from wicking the heat away from your body while you're passing through the air, it's great. Also, when your heat is given off by your body, it's going to trap it in here and just warm up this insulation even more. Along with that, let's talk about your extremities. Your hands. I hate my hands being cold. So good winter type gloves. Don't get me wrong, these are a pain to work in with any type of wrenches, but if you can use these on like what we're doing right now, just driving a tractor around, plowing the driveway, excellent. These ones happen to be Carhartt. Carhartt's just popular in the Midwest and a good reputable brand that'll hold up to more farm type use instead of just going snowboarding type thing. Good beanie, a beanie hat put over is always going to be nice. Your head loses a majority of your heat. I believe we all know that. I have a weird thing with my beard. I'll see if I can find the image and throw it in this video. But one year I went out and snowplowed, and I think it was just getting out of the military and growing out my beard. I thought it would have more insulation. It became an ice mask. So I particularly will wear a balaclava just to cover up my beard and my mouth and keep my entire face warm. Again, all I'm doing is sitting down, driving around, and looking into wind and snow hitting me on the face. My face is going to be the windshield of this operation. So trying to cover that up is pretty nice. And then last but not least, a good pair of goggles. This is where ski goggles really do make the most sense. And the amazing thing about that one website that used to only sell books, these were only like $30 with pop on and off lenses and everything else. You'll find that most ski goggles are tinted. And if you really think about their application, it makes sense. You're out in a white bliss that never stops. So not too many people want to be blinded by the light, just like that one song. But these are a huge piece just to keep your vision clear. And talking about that windshield, you're actually giving your eyes a protection of a windshield. So right now it's snowing out there. I'm sorry, I'm looking out my back window or my front window of my house. It's snowing outside. It's supposed to snow all day long. But the bad part is I live in the part of Indiana that's flatter than Miley Cyrus. So there'll just be drifts of snow all day. So the more I just sit here and let it pile up, the more I'm going to lose my driveway. I don't have a massive amount of land, but my driveway doesn't have too many markers going up and down of it. Also, we're going to get deliveries today. We're going to do other things. My wife is going to go out and do chores and feed the goats, feed the cats, and feed the chickens. So with that, I try to make her a path with the snowplow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of the way dressed up. I'm going to put you guys on a magnet mount on the tractor, and we're going to go around and we're going to plow and show you a time lapse of that. And then I'll check back in later tonight when it gets closer to the dusk, and we're going to plow again, talk about it, because everybody in Indiana will always compare to the blizzard of 78. In the blizzard of 78, they got 15.2 inches in Indianapolis. They're estimating around 12 to 12 and a half in some parts of Indiana this year. It's just enough to freak everybody out. Don't get me wrong, 78 wasn't that long ago, but you got a whole other generation now that's hasn't experienced this yet. And milk, eggs, and toilet paper now. It used to just be milk and eggs. 2020 changed out the toilet paper. It's a shame. It's a shame. Anyhow, let me get dressed. Let's get back to work. I'll put you guys on the tractor and we'll go for a ride.
Wind don't have no shame. Drifts piling up across the drive. Winter plays its game. I've seen worse back in Utah. 2 feet overnight. But down here folks forget to drive when snow starts falling white. I love a winter, don't have to mow, but I hate moving snow. Ferguson's ready, blade set low. Diesel smoke in the cold. Wind chill down near zero. Feels like 14 below. I love a winter, that's no joke, but I hate moving snow. Shortened up that top link tight, spun that blade around, dropped it on my shin real hard. Yeah, that hurt like hell. I found 5 angle settings now.
Well, it's the next day. Reason for that, it snowed all the way until the evening last night. And then basically it hovered above, in between 5 and 10 degrees last night, before midnight, and just blew everything around. Walking out here, where I plowed yesterday, probably only has about 2 to 3 inches. So that's a good thing, at least. There's still a good path for my wife to go out and do her chores and everything. But now the base temperature is -2 this morning. That's before wind chill. So we're like -14-ish right now. So what I'm going to do, I know it's barely in frame over here, but the bucket, I'm going to replace these forks on the front of the tractor with a bucket. I'm going to use that to just basically scrape off the little bit of snow that I still have out there on the ground and take it that way. I think that's going to be our best bet, because trying to sit there, and I'll show you guys while I'm out there, trying to sit there and scrape it to be out on the side. I would need a taller blade for that, because the snow is just going to simply impact that wall and not go anywhere. If the wall is sitting right here and it's just hitting it, it needs something to ramp it and put it on top of the snow. It's taller than my blade right now. So, and we're not dealing with much. Weather station said that we got 9.2 inches. It's not record breaking by any means, but it is just enough to be inconvenient. So I'm going to use the bucket, even though it has the digger teeth on the front of it. I'm going to take it and just scrape it and get basically a good tire path for the tires to go up and down the driveway. I'm not worried about the back half of the property. It's good to walk in. That's all we really need to do back here. The front end of the property is where we need to get out to the road and everything. And of course, the snowplow, when it passes by, it's not really considerate about driveways. So we're going to need to do that. So I'm going to get the glow plugs glowing on this thing, figure out what I'm going to do for a camera mount for you guys, throw my headphones in, and let's finish up this last plow and see what we can do. Ooh, it's cold. Even I'm in a barn looking over at my thermometer. It's below zero. And even with all this gear on that you saw me put on yesterday, it's still cold. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get to work.
Better than before. Wish I had hydraulics, but I ain't asking for more.
That's gonna about do it for us. It's cold. It's very cold. But driveway's plowed well enough. I can step around in here. This is light and fluffy. It's still only probably 3/4 of an inch, so not too worried about this. But I'm gonna go inside and warm up. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys next week. I need to sit in front of the fire. Ugh.
Park the truck over extension cords. Keep the plow truck clear.